So, you were with us a few years ago. We did an interview together. And today we wanted to invite you back to talk specifically around artificial intelligence and its boom and the effects on different companies and the roles and how organizations are adapting to it. So to start with, tell us how AI is transforming the landscape of corporate learning and training.
Well, it's a little bit like an explosion, we can say. I would say the first biggest change for corporate learning, L&D practitioners, is that role has always been content curation in the past. What did the people need to learn? Where can I go find that knowledge? How can I bring it to the people? How can I deliver it? Check that they used it, okay? Well, guess what? Gone. That is all in AI's hands now, and it's for good reasons. AI is brilliant. It is simply brilliant intelligence delivered within about 30 seconds on whatever you need to know. Now, that's wonderful. It's really wonderful. But what's these L&D practitioners supposed to do now? How is learning going to happen? What's going to happen is, first of all, the learners themselves will have AI at their fingertips. And what they want to know, just like anyone, you can get within a request to the algorithm. And same for the L&D practitioner who wants to know anything. And, you also can get it clearly. Now, what comes to you? What comes to you is this brilliant summary of what is known in that particular area you have a query about. So that's wonderful. On the other hand, the problem with that is in the past, the L&D practitioner was at least thinking about that content. Is it good? Is it useful? Does it fit with what we're trying to do? The algorithm doesn't care. It's not human. It's a machine. And it doesn't care whether it's good or bad, useful or not. It simply takes your words in your request, does a algorithmic look at millions and millions and billions of data and finds the words most relevant to those words, puts them into and gives it to you, and all of this in 30 seconds. Now, that is brilliant, but it has not been through a human lens of whether it's good or not. So that's the difference in that kind of knowledge that's coming to you. The good side is it used to take 2-3 days, maybe more, to go find where the content was, try to make some sense of it, summarize it. But you can do 30 seconds and better, to be honest with you, with AI. On the other hand, it's not been humanized yet. Somebody has to humanize it, and that's where the role is changing in learning. Both the learner and the L&D practitioner now have you might say, a more difficult job, which is now that I have all this information, well, so what? What am I going to do with it? How is it of value for me, for others, for the organization? So that's a huge, huge shift. And I wanted to give, I know it'll be in the notes later, I wanted to talk a fun cartoon from Ron Chast in the New Yorker. He did a beautiful cartoon it shows the story of Adam and Eve. We all know that story. Adam and Eve were at the apple tree. The serpent came and said, "Want a little knowledge?" The gods were a little unsure whether we humans should have it. But the serpent said, "Want some?" We said, "Give it to me." Now you can look at what we've done and think, we've done some pretty good things with it, including AI. And you can look at what we've done. You can say, we've also made a heck of a mess of things. So you can look at what's going on in the earth. Now, what Ron Chast did is he recreated this in a cartoon that has the serpent. And the serpent is saying, "Want some information? An apple has 75 calories and is grown primarily, blah, 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 and from the species X, as data." And Eve's looking up there like, So the point is, we are being greatly tempted once again with knowledge, which is this AI knowledge. But it's only how to say it, it's only intelligence without wisdom. It doesn't have a human heart in it, doesn't have a human conscience in it. It's just intelligence. So we're being tempted again, and we'll see what we do with it.
Yeah. So just given that new landscape and kind of the wild west, right? You can type in anything and it gets that spit out all this information. How do learning professionals then actually collate and curate learning, make it personalized, create learning paths for employees then based on what the organization needs from them in terms of skills, and also based on learning styles?
Right. So what's interesting is that the curation now that the L&D practitioner needs to do is less about the content per se, because anybody can get that. It's now about which algorithm is the best one out there, because there's hundreds, and you can go on any website now and they're all comparing like 100 different platforms for you. So first, the practitioner has to think about, is this the best algorithm that we've chosen? Secondly, what is the data set that algorithm is using? That matters a lot. If you're in healthcare, you don't want a data set that's from manufacturing. You want a data set that's based on healthcare stuff. So that's the second thing you have to think about. And then the third thing is the algorithm also including our knowledge we have as an organization in this data set? So essentially, it's bringing together what we know, what is known out there in the world, just specific to our particular product or service. And you need to be sure that as an L&D practitioner, has been well chosen, well designed, well brought. Okay. Now, for the learner, it's beautiful. I'm here to tell you, it's just simply beautiful, because the learner with this robot who's going to be sitting on the screen with the learner, the robot knows the style of learning I have as a learner. Am I an introvert? I'd rather just read stuff. Or I'm an extrovert and I need to talk. The robot's going to know, and the robot's going to look very human. They're pretty close to that already. And the robot's going to say, okay, Robert, you like to talk? Let's talk about X. Now, the robot knows that in this realm of knowledge I need, I'm pretty good on about 2/3 of it, but 1/3 of it I'm a little weak on. So it's going to go right there. It's not going to bother me with the 2/3. And just as a little aside, unfortunately, I can say from a long career, there's been a lot of learning delivered in large organizations that had no impact. Why is that? It was too generic. So if I go back to my learner here, I've already knew 2/3 of this stuff, and I had to go through a course in which the 2/3 was boring me to tears. It was a waste of time. Now the robot's going to leave that aside, just go right to what I don't know. Now the next good thing is the robot is going to fact check me. Unlike the American political process, it's going to fact check me. It's going to say, no, you didn't answer that one correct, Robert. Try again. You see what I mean? And so my learning has become so personalized to me, and it gives me only what I need to know. That is the true blessing for how learning is going to change for the learner as well.
Yeah. And what specific tools or applications of AI have you used as an L&D advisor that have sort of really enhanced the learning experience?
Right. Well, there's any number of tools out there. Some of the best ones are how to make a good prompt, just prompt engineering, because it matters a lot how you say it to the algorithm in a way the algorithm can respond most effectively and what it is you really want. So a nearby and useful technical application is that. Another application, there's a bunch of them out there, help you rewrite my email, check my email for spelling errors, or transcriptions. I'm doing an audio, it's making a transcription as I go, or translations. All of those technical things are already there and already being used. What I want to go to is what I think is a deeper application of this technology in learning. And I'll talk here from my own experience. So recently I did a series of interviews with what we call L&D disruptors. These are people in large global organizations running L&D who are disruptive. In other words, they throw out the old pretty quickly and go on to the new rapidly, to doing whatever it takes to get the outcome that the organization needs. Now, these disruptors, they were like hour-long interviews. I had like 7 of them with 7 different people. Now, in the past, before AI came on the scene, it took me quite a while to get the transcript from Zoom, analyze the transcript, get the basic summary from each person, then take the 7 summaries and find the master summary. What are these disruptors saying that, okay? Now, AI does that for me in, 30 seconds per thing and then 30 seconds for the master. So what used to take me days and days before I could even get on to, is this useful? Can people use it? Now it takes me minutes, really, literally. Now, once it's come to me, then there's this big question. Now, who I am with my knowledge and experience, what sense do I make of these summaries from AI? What's going to be really useful in terms of what I'm trying to do for the audience I'm trying to reach? So in a certain sense, my knowledge and experience now can be used more effectively with what's known, whereas there used to be a lot of it when it's just trying to figure out, what did we say? What's the summary of it? So in general, for the experience of learning, it used to be we took a whole lot of it in just gathering the knowledge and then a little bit on doing something with it. And now the knowledge is gathered like this, and we need to put this effort into, is this worthwhile? So what? What am I going to do with it? How is it going to achieve anything good? Is it useful? Do I need anything more? That we used to use a little bit of time. Now that's our main effort, and that's not easy. That's a harder, more difficult effort, both for learners and for L&D practitioners.
Yeah. And the traditional learning management systems that organizations, use, are you seeing AI built into those as, new programs are being developed?
Yeah, a lot of the problems with the LMSs was they had a huge library of information, which when one went and got what one wanted, one watched, I'm sorry to say it, about a boring video for 10 minutes, or whatever, And what they're trying to do in the LMS, and really the LXPs, the learning experience platforms now, is bring AI in there to help the individual, guide the individual through that library and find what that individual needs, right? Help the individual find the way they want to consume that information. So AI is now coming into the learning experience platforms pretty strongly to try to make sense of that, let's say, library of knowledge that's generally there. But, and this is probably unfair for me to say, and I'm sure you'll have an LXP provider on soon, but I think the AI is just going to go way beyond whatever's in the LXP and gather what's out there in the world at large and bring it in. And so AI is going to be everywhere, LXP, but also everywhere. I'll give you an example that might be interesting, just very briefly. If you're having a team meeting to solve a problem, we'll probably be using AI facilitators. The AI robot already knows what the team discussed the last 7 meetings, what needs to happen in this meeting, and it's just going to bring what we need. That's where it's going to be everywhere.